Hi everybody, this is Odd Samurai, and today I'm going to be reacting to ReZero, Season 4, Episode 10. But first off, as usual, let's talk about last episode. So, at the beginning, when Subaru gets out of the tower, he says something like, "So it really is a desert, after all?" That must mean that at some point he was told, what's outside of the tower, and he just didn't believe it until he saw it. But clearly they didn't tell him about mobbies being there and what they are, because as we'll see later in the episode, he repeats to Meili the living with wolves metaphor. But yeah, here we see the first instance in the episode of Subaru distancing or separating himself from our Subaru. What am I even supposed to do? Answer me, Natsuki Subaru. So yeah, Amnesiac Subaru has an interesting relationship with the Subaru we know. Because, in his eyes, the guy that all these people know, and some of them, or most of them, care about, he just cannot see that guy in himself. And yeah, he falls through the sand, and then we have some interesting imagery here. It was like static images of Oiran bears, and it looks like one of them was gonna eat Subaru. Then we have like a no signal TV visual, and now we see Subaru surrounded by the corpses of the Oiran bears we see in the static images. And at first, when first watching this, I didn't think much of it. I was just like, okay. So he fell unconscious and something else, or someone else came in and killed them. But later on, after Meili dies, we also see that same type of visual, like the static images as she's being choked, and then the no signal TV. So it's definitely connected, The same thing must have happened. And if it was just the Meili thing, I would be like, okay, it must have been Subaru, but he just, he's suppressing the memory. But here, how did an amnesiac Subaru kill all those Oiran bears? There were so many. And even, our Subaru, I don't think would be able to do it by himself. So what the hell is going on? Is someone, in control of him while he's in a sort of like sleep state? And if so, who? Could it be Rui? But I don't know how that would work though. Like, I don't know, but I feel like it has either something to do with the gluttony archbishops or something to do with his witch factors. Because, what was it, in like episode 3 or 4 of this season, we see Regulus and Betelgeuse kind of like, talking is talking down to Subaru as he's unconscious. And they also have that, a sort of old TV look to them. And when it's done, it kind of looks like, when you turn off a TV. So maybe it's one, if not both of the witch factors taking control. So there's that. Those are my theories right now. But he goes through the cave and ends up going through, the doors. And once again, it's 3. I know someone in the comments said that it was like an error in the script and it was supposed to be 4, but no. I mean, I hear Subaru say San Mai, and San is 3, so I don't know what you mean. But I do wonder, like, when he's bashing his head against the 4th door and he gets teleported back into the tower again. Could it be that he did manage to get through the 4th door, but like, through the perspective of this, he just didn't realize. But like the moment he went through it, that's when he got teleported, maybe? But yeah, I already talked about all the factors that made Subaru go into this, murderous state. But I don't think I acknowledged an important one, which is I very much feel now that he got affected by the miasma in the cave. So, he already had all that paranoia. And, just the fear of dying again, coupled with the miasma, really made him willing to kill anyone in his path. Thankfully, it didn't happen, but, he was still in that kind of mentality. So he finds almost everyone dead. He doesn't find Beatrice or Emilia's bodies, but I don't think we're ever gonna find out what happened to them in this loop. I adore Patricia. She has to be one of my favorite animal companions in a story now. What even is, the number of times she's saved Subaru by now? She saved him at the end of season 1 from the explosion. She saved him from Garfield in season 2 like twice. And then, getting him out of the graveyard as well, even though she got injured. Like, to me, I feel like that's meant to be a parallel to this. Here, she's the first one that's Subaru 2 can trust and rely on with his life. And in season 2, episode 13, she's the first one that makes Subaru realize that, yeah, his friends do care for him and don't want him to suffer for them. And then, of course, at the beginning of the season when she died protecting him from the sniping. But yeah, she's just great. And just, yeah, I really feel bad for Subaru that he can't tell anyone, what he's going through. And he hasn't even figured out that he can't physically say, tell him about return by death. But it's also just because all these things that have accumulated for him is just makes it almost impossible to trust anyone. Because of the mindfuckery. That's probably all due to the gluttony archbishops. I don't know what the fog is. I was thinking maybe it's a consequence of, breaking the rules in some way. But it could also be related to Satala. I don't know, but it doesn't look anything like what we saw when she, was roaming around the sanctuary in season 2. And then we get this. Fake Rem chopping his head off. Now, I only focused on this person calling him hero, but I think I should have also said something about try to figure it out next time. Why would they say that if they don't know about return by death? I think if this is Rui, then what other thing could she mean? But if she knows, why would she kill him? She's only giving him more chances to, come out victorious. I don't know, some kind of thrill in that, giving him a chance. But yeah, once he restarts again, he gets really, really attached to Batrashu, which is really sweet. He really needed someone in his corner. Yeah, it's good that he had he calmed down enough to realize, even if I didn't see Emilia or Beatrice's bodies, the voice that killed me, it didn't sound like either of them. But also, why kill me if I forgot something? Wouldn't it be the other way around? And I think, yeah, he's making a very good question. Then Emilia, pokes him in between the eyes and says, you got that wrinkle on your forehead again. And has him pondering, what did I do for her to get that close with me anyway? And it's interesting he uses I instead of Natsuki Subaru. I guess there is, a chance here that he thinks there is potential for him to have that kind of ability. To have someone like Emilia care so much for him. Even if, he can't fathom it right now. Then Shala starts speaking with him. He remembers her corpse, but only hers. And I think it might be because she's the first one that he saw. So he's like, okay, she's definitely not the one that killed everyone else, which I would not say that. Like the Mavist that caught Subaru outside of the tower in the loop earlier, the way he got killed, it seemed like it was Shala, but then we didn't see a glimpse of her, so I don't know what was up with that. But yeah, surely she must have killed at least one of our group here. But things must have gotten out of hand once Rui Rem made her move. Then we get the conversation with Julius, and I don't really got much to say about that. But then Shala comes out of the barrel, and while Subaru doesn't trust her, he was probably like, she'll be the one that if I tell her to do this for me, she won't ask questions, and she'll just do it. Yeah, she asked for the hug, and he'll reject it. But then, she says the line, "To be a woman who's convenient to you is my reason for living." And of course, she means Flugel, but Subaru is thinking she means him, the version without memories. But it's a sad line, but I guess a silver lining is that at the very least she has a reason for living, and no reason for living is should be mocked or judged. If that's what makes her happy, then go ahead. But at the same time, it's like it wouldn't do her badly to try and raise her standards. Like, it does feel like she has low self-esteem of herself. But yeah, he hugs her because he's like, if you're saying that, basically like, oh, I guess I don't deserve the hug, so just being convenient for you is enough. And so it does that to let her know, you don't have to feel that way. You don't have to think about being convenient to me. I'm sorry. And Shala is actually serious about it for a moment. You can tell it really means a lot to her. I feel this is like the most, vulnerable and genuine we've seen her. But yeah, I feel like that was Subaru basically saying, I'm not worth putting yourself so down for me. So here, get a hug. Because I'm not someone that you need to pine over, It's not worth it. So, yeah, so it was like, if the way they all acted was phony, I don't know what I'm supposed to believe. And he's washing like a cup. I'm guessing he's being reminded of the mug he didn't wash for his mom. And yeah, I understand him being lost on what to believe and what not to believe. That's when we get Meili. And he says like, oh, living with Mahavist? I guess is like being raised by wolves, right? And she's like, oh, you already said that yesterday. So he made a mistake. Because, he's trying to be our Subaru, but he doesn't know enough. So of course he'd make this mistake. And then we have that moment of what she's like, what you said yesterday. How seriously should I take that? And it's like, okay, what did she mean by that? Did Subaru tell her to kill him if something seemed off about him? And that's the only thing I can think of. So she tried to kill him, and then he killed her? But I still feel like there's something off. I feel like there's someone else controlling Subaru's body while he he's in the sleep state. And the Subaru was here. I think it's, at first I thought it might have been someone, that's trying to be helpful. If it's, like another version of Subaru. But if it's like Rui, for example, then I think it's mocking, basically. Trying to make him paranoid of himself, A bit like, what if my original self was the bad guy? Like when he was talking with Julius, and he was like, oh, I can't wrap around my feelings with the secret he had with Echidna. And Subaru 2 was like, wait, my secret with Echidna? What the hell does he mean? So, yeah, this is literally like, you cannot trust yourself. Or, what was it? You can't trust anyone, not even yourself. So, also I think we saw, like, Subaru was here when he was first learning to write in this world's language. So that's a callback to that as well. But I've yapped enough. Let's get to the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, there was D. How is this gonna go? Everyone is gonna think he did it, even if he's being framed. What a way to isolate him. Oh. Oh, my heart. Mm. Oh. I wish our Subaru could hear that. No, Emilia. Oh. I love her. Oh my god. Oh no. He could just tell her I found Meili like this. he can't read it. Oh, yep. Damn, a book already showed up. Hmm. Right, she's already dead. So even if he can't read it, he can still go into the books. Okay, let's get Meili backstory. So interesting seeing Mavis acting like actual animals. So that's when they met. Oh, what? A mission? I mean, in a way, though. Elsa basically killed her family to get her to work with them. Wait, that voice. Capella? Whoa. What? Capella's mother? Of course. If it wasn't for Elsa taking her out of her home, she wouldn't be here. Oh. Interesting. I mean, of course it must have been with Elsa that she would experience her first human emotions with another human. Mm-hmm. Who would she imitate? Oh, Subaru. Are we gonna see the deal they made before he lost his memories? Mm. Hmm. Why'd she react like that? Hmm. Is that Ravi? I'll remember it. Of course. Oh, so that's what she meant. It's crazy that Meili doesn't show any sign of recognizing that this is not Subaru, but she's the one from the ones that came here that knows him the least. Hmm. Oh. Whoa. Damn, he really did dive too deep, huh? He had mixed with her memories. Mm. Mm. So he chose to lie, huh? Ooh. What? What? What does she get? I love this. Now we're getting more of Subaru's confusion on why everyone cares for him. Oh boy. Oh no. Again. Oh, damn. Yeah. The way they've been using the Meili hallucinations is so good. What? Oh, of course. They would think that. Holy shit. Also, why the few times that we've seen Subaru go crazy murder mode is he always goes for choking. That was quite the episode. Oh man. So, granted, we haven't seen Subaru act upon killing Ram, but he's definitely itching for it. So, I don't think he would have gone to this degree of, you know, going down a dark path if the Meili hallucinations weren't messing with him. And so, like, what are they truly? Is it actually the book messing, or rather mixing, with his own soul? It's not out of the question. What if, somehow, the Rui inside him is making him see the hallucination? Because there's still a chance that the first conversation Subaru 2 saw when he was pushed up the stairs the second time, that could have been all fabricated by the Archbishop. Or 3. It's all completely psychological, a manifestation of Subaru's own psyche. I'd be fine with any of the 3, since the result is still really interesting. But I feel like the most likely right now, it's gonna be number 2. But man, that little speech from Emilia at the beginning, and she's like, here, if you're hurting, don't just sulk, talk to me. If you're going through something, I'll go through it with you, but no carrying it all alone. Getting all irritated alone and trying to end everything alone. And she even puts his hand on her chest so he can hear her heartbeat. It isn't angry at all. I won't be disillusioned. So talk to me. God, the fact that one of my, like, up there with, already is one of my favorite Emilia monologues. And it's gonna be on a loop that we're going to lose. It hurts. But also, like, in the back of my head, I'm just thinking, like, it was Subaru's body who killed Meili, but it wasn't Subaru the person. Regardless. I just, if she saw Meili's body, and he said, I killed her, and he has no explanation for it, I feel like Emilia would be disillusioned and disappointed, and look at him like he's a completely different person, which, in some ways he kinda is. But still, it's something that Subaru has had to learn and try to accept what she says to him here over and over again. And even then, he just has a hard time believing it. So, of course, this Subaru wouldn't, he'd be like, why? I have no recollection of what I could have done for her to have this kind of faith in me. And I'm just thinking of, like, that speech that Subaru gives to Emilia in season 2, episode 15. Like, yeah, I love you, but you can still be a pain in the ass, You're beautiful, and you're very strong, and I admire you, and all this. But at the same time, I know now that you're just a girl. You're not this perfect angel. And it's because I love you that I have faith that you can do this. I won't do it for you, but I believe that you can do it, and I won't lose that faith. And it's because of such a wonderful scene like that that Emilia is able to reciprocate that kind of affection and care for him. Yeah, that Meili flashback. Like, for one, I did not expect another archbishop to show up in it. That has nothing to do with everything else that's happening in the arc. Yeah, I'm not like, who the hell can understand an archbishop's thought process? But like, it seemed like Elsa grabbed Meili because Capella wanted her. But like, why? It doesn't seem like there's any sort of like, logical process of like, well, her divine protection of taming Mavist can come in handy. She just says what she always says. Just love me. And in too many words. Yeah, it is interesting that feral Meili would even like bite Elsa, and Elsa would not care. She'd just keep on brushing her hair. And sure, she needed to bring her back alive as a mission, and she was a professional after all. But like, I don't know. Maybe there was always something about Meili that brought a protective feeling from Elsa. But yes, Meili just did not have luck at all in life, huh? You could say she was truly free when she was out in the wilderness with the Mavist. But even then, like we get told later, she was just imitating them. She wasn't being her own person. And when Elsa took her, she also started to imitate her. Because Meili just has no frame of reference on how to be a human. So she just paints herself in the colors of others. Yeah, what example was she to follow in life? And here, if Mother had ordered her to die and called it teaching, she would have. And then we get the reality with Meili saying, I don't want that. Finally snapping and, showing that she has her own desires. She's not just an empty vessel, a mirror that only shows the reflections of others. But even then, she didn't want to be known, noticed. She didn't want to be seen or known. But yeah, I'm not sure what book she was reading when Subaru interrupted her. Or at least from the way he was acting, it looked like Subaru. And then she came back, and you know, it hasn't been confirmed, but I'm guessing this is Rui saying, "You're so shallow, don't flirt with me, nobody wants that. Can't you hear what you really want deep in your heart? Listen to your desires and you'll come to see yourself for a bit and you'll know for sure what you want to do." And she just goes, "My desire is..." But she doesn't really express it out loud. So I'm not really sure what conclusion she came to. If you know what you want, start acting like it. Your boring worries, your dumb suffering, all of it. I'll remember it for you. And then she makes an interesting face. Very pleased. Smiling with a blush. So was how seriously should I take that? Like, was Rui implying like, I'll kill you and I'll keep your memories within me through a book? So I'm not sure. I guess so. She wanted to live through others instead of others living through her. But yet when it's actually happening, it doesn't look like she actually wants to die. So like, I'm not, I don't know. When he's in the green room, he keeps staring at Beatrice's neck. And hallucination Meili is like, if you want to know so badly why they care so much for you, it would be as easy as that. Which is crazy. To be like, yeah, you want answers? Just kill them. And yeah, it's like, if you kill once, it'll make it easier the next time. But like, Subaru 2 didn't kill her. Otherwise, he would remember it. And yet he's taking it as he is the one who did it. Also, how low must he think of himself? That he saw the way Rui Subaru was talking and acting, and he was like, yeah, that was my old self. Oh, but something that breaks my heart is when Beatrice noticed that, Subaru was here. Cuts in his arm. And she said, with a sad face, "You've scratched up your own hand again. That's a bad habit." And I think the implication is that Subaru, on the regular, self-harms. And that's just... that makes me really sad. It's just, you know, 2 lines, but it says so much about how Subaru's self-hatred is very much quite present, even though it's, you know, it's not really that visible in season 3 and in season 4 before he lost the memories. Just because you can't see it easily doesn't mean it's not there. No, and Beatrice being so used to it as well. But she heals it every time. God, their dynamic is just the best. So well, Subaru will go on his killing spree now that he's up to it. We'll see next time, I guess. But this is gonna be it for me this time. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Till next time, see ya.